take a look at what a free market tax structure should look like. All right, you always hear about the pyramid. There's the top 2%, the small group. You got the so-called middle class. And then you've got everyone else, lower income. But notice something here. There's an arrow pointing up and an arrow pointing down. You see, in a free market tax structure and a free society, people are free to move from the lower income bracket to the middle income bracket, from the middle income bracket to the top 2% and become wealthy. You know, in our society, the American dream is going from here to here. And it happens all the time. Now, the arrow pointing down, just because somebody is born wealthy or becomes wealthy, that doesn't mean they're going to stay wealthy. That story happens all the time, too. People squander their wealth. They make bad investments. Who knows what can happen to somebody that knocks them out of that top 2%? So, yeah, there's a downside to a free society. It might mean you started middle class and you ended up lower income. You might start out wealthy or achieve wealth and end up down here. You could see documentaries on professional athletes to show that. So that's what a free market tax structure would look like. Now, when we follow the utopian, fair share, Obama campaign promise that he preached on the campaign trail, you know, the one where they were going to make everything fairer by spreading the wealth around, you get a different shape. You see, you get rid of the triangle and you get a rectangle. The promise is that we're going to smash down the top of the triangle and we're going to bust out the sides. And we're going to spread the wealth around, and the wealthy people are going to be diluted in with everybody else because we're all in this together. The income gap is closed. There's no aristocracy. Nobody has too much. Nobody has too little. The problem with this is a fantasy. This tax structure, this society, this economy doesn't exist anywhere on earth. Not in Cuba, not in Sweden, not in France, not in Venezuela. You can't find this anywhere because anywhere government has reins of the economy, there's always going to be an aristocracy. There's always going to be a wealthy 2%. Now, after the fiscal cliff deal, Obama's tax policy looks, well, more like this once all the corporatism and loopholes are folded in. There you go. We're back to the pyramid. You see, you never get rid of the pyramid. That's the funny thing. What you do get is government control of the economy. You see, the wealthiest 2%, that downward thing, that doesn't happen, GEGM, because the government is maintaining their position. No matter what happens, these companies have the support of government. Down here, with all the control over the lower income people or no income people, it's almost impossible for them to develop the skills to get into the middle class or to become rich. They're taken care of from start to finish. Food stamps, housing, health care, education, all provided by the government with them locked in. And now with a tax structure that keeps raising the bar, that keeps making it harder for people to become wealthy, so-called middle class, they find themselves trapped too. So there's no such thing as that rectangular shape. There's only pyramids. The difference between the two is whether or not you're going to live in a free society or you're going to live with corporatism, quid pro quo, and crony capitalism, which is exactly what Obama's given. You're going to learn the hard way, some of you, that this pyramid the president keeps promising to smash just becomes another pyramid. There's always an aristocracy. There's always a 2%. Somebody's always getting rich. The difference in a free society is whether or not you are free to try it for yourself rather than waiting for the government to secure that place.